In the heart of South Asia, a silent yet seismic shift is taking place as India flexed its military muscle with the recent Operation Sindoor. Pakistan is confronting an uncomfortable truth that the Chinese weapons it so heavily relies on may not be up to the task. What has followed since Operation Sindoor is not just a military setback, but also potentially the beginning of a reset in ties with America. India's Operation Sindoor was not just a show of force, it was a revelation. With precision strikes, Indian forces targeted key Pakistani military and terror infrastructure, marking a decisive strategic and psychological victory. But what truly stunned defense analysts was how easily Indian weapons outmatched Pakistan's Chinese-supplied systems. Nearly 82% of Pakistan's defense imports come from China. That includes air defense systems, fighter jets, missiles, and naval hardware. This conflict was a real-world test for Pakistan's Chinese-made weapons, and the results were damning. Chinese HQ-9 air defense systems failed to intercept multiple Indian missile attacks, including those delivered by the BrahMos, a weapon of Indo-Russian origin. In battlefield conditions, the HQ-9's failure wasn't just tactical, it was reputational. But the HQ-9 wasn't alone in failure, it had company in other Chinese weapon systems. The PL-15 air-to-air missile, China's answer to the Meteor, frequently missed its targets or failed to lock on. The much-hyped J-10C fighters struggled against India's multi-layered air defense network. Naval confrontations saw Chinese-supplied frigates lose electronic superiority, with systems either malfunctioning or getting jammed. Pakistan's battlefield network, reliant on Chinese platforms, simply couldn't respond fast enough. Pakistan's dependence on China exposed a glaring vulnerability: technological over-reliance on untested, over-marketed weapons that underperformed in actual combat. The ramifications extend far beyond Pakistan. Beijing's dream of becoming a global arms exporter has taken a hit. For years, countries like Myanmar, Nigeria, and Algeria have purchased Chinese arms due to affordability and fast delivery timelines, but Operation Sindoor exposed the limits of Chinese weapons. The battlefield is the ultimate test, and Chinese equipment failed spectacularly. This has reinforced long-standing doubts about the reliability, durability, and effectiveness of Chinese military systems. In the backdrop of this exposed vulnerability came a highly unusual political development: a working lunch between US President Donald Trump and Pakistan's army chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir. Trump later described Munir as a smart man and said he was honored to meet him. But the lunch was far more than a polite photo op. In fact, the lunch was a private affair with the press kept out from the event. According to CNN News 18, this meeting could mark the beginning of a new strategic realignment between USA and Pakistan. Trump reportedly offered Pakistan access to fifth-generation fighter jets, advanced missile systems, and substantial financial aid, but with conditions. The first condition? That Pakistan scales down its military and strategic cooperation with China and Russia. The second? That Pakistan grants the US access to military bases, seaports, and logistical hubs. For decades, Pakistan has maintained a balancing act between Washington and Beijing. Its F-16 fleet and naval infrastructure owe much to US engineering. Yet, recent years saw Islamabad drift closer to China, driven by economic dependency and diplomatic isolation from the West. Trump's offer is not just military, it includes new trade and security agreements. It signals a potential reversal of a decade-long tilt toward Beijing. The Biden administration had all but frozen Pakistan out. In 4 years, Biden never once spoke directly to a Pakistani prime minister. This created a vacuum, and Trump is filling it with both carrots and sticks. It's worth noting that Trump's relationship with India has grown rocky. He continues to falsely claim credit for brokering peace between India and Pakistan, and his recent trade proposals with India have been seen as harsh and one-sided. So where does that leave Islamabad? Suddenly, Pakistan is being courted again, and the price may be worth paying, at least from the perspective of Rawalpindi's top brass. Trump, according to reports, is preparing for a conflict with Iran which would involve American boots on the ground. And access to Pakistan's military bases and ports could be crucial for US and Israeli logistics if a wider conflict in the Middle East breaks out. That makes Pakistan, and its geography, invaluable once again. But this raises a critical question. How will China, Pakistan's all-weather friend, respond? Beijing has invested billions into Pakistan through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It views Pakistan as a strategic satellite, a gateway to the Indian Ocean. If Pakistan starts pivoting toward Washington, Beijing could retaliate economically, or worse, strategically. It could slow CPEC, restrict financial flows, or even undermine Pakistani interests in international forums. There's another angle: public perception. How will Pakistan's people, overwhelmingly Muslim, react to their country siding with the US and Israel in a potential war against Iran, another Muslim nation? Will the military be able to contain the blowback from religious parties and civil society groups who view Iran, not America, as a natural ally? This could inflame domestic politics in unpredictable ways. From a failed missile defense system to a working lunch in Washington, the ground beneath South Asia's strategic triangle is shifting. The failure of Chinese weapons in real combat may have done what no summit or sanction could: push Pakistan back into America's orbit. But the cost of that pivot, in terms of alliances, public opinion, and regional stability, is something Pakistan will have to calculate very carefully. What do you think? Is Pakistan turning its back on China? Is America betting on Pakistan again for the next big war? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more geostrategic deep dives.